views expressed on this program are those of the hosts, guests, and callers, and are not necessarily those of this station, its management, or other advertisers. You're listening to Transformation Talk Radio.
Hi, welcome. This is Dr. John DeMartini. This is one of the most amazing and inspiring shows that you can listen into. If you want to be on the edge of your seats, if you want to open up your heart, if you want to expand your mind, and you want to meet incredible people, stay tuned because you're just about to experience a transformative radio show that will change your life. And you're listening to the Dr. Pat Show that's coming up right next.
Welcome to the Dr. Pat Show. Talk radio to thrive by. Powerful, inspiring, and coming to you live, bringing you stories of people like you and me, busting through and living life full out. Get ready to dare to wonder what your life would be like if you knew you could not fail.
Hey, everybody, it's so great to be talking with all of you. Thank you so much for tuning us in and turning us on. We have a great show for you today. Thanks for all of your, thanks for all of the emails that you all have been sending us about Lyme Talk Radio. I know many of you were concerned about the fact that we would not continue this show. And I assure you that not only are we going to continue the show, but we're actually growing the show. And we're going to be adding more shows like this. So today is an exciting time for all of us. And I want to say this. I want to start out by saying that, you know, for so many people to have a solution to Lyme disease symptoms, to have a solution that A, they can trust, B, that's natural, and C, that is something that is so absolutely affordable to people, it is really an idea whose time has come. And today I'm really excited to be talking with all of you and introducing you to David Larson, who is somebody that has sat down and looked at what is the world we live in, what are the challenges, what's happening with health, our wellness. You know, what are some of the things that are so important to get the message out about? So today I'm excited to be talking with him about a natural solution to addressing Lyme disease symptoms. David Larson's joining me here today, president and founder of Results RNA. And, you know, that is an innovative company that I'm going to tell you about, but more than that, it is a solution. It's a solution. And for somebody like me, when you're looking at a solution and you're thinking about how to help people, this is an area that you want to bring the best of the best to the forefront, that we want to talk about what Lyme disease is, why is it even today that it's hard to find people like David, hard to find organizations like the one that he founded to help all of us with finding a solution that is good for us, that'll get us to a level of healing that so many people were not able to get to. And talk about Lyme disease in the way that it clearly needs to be discussed in today's contemporary times. David, thank you for joining me here today. It's great to have you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Pat. I really appreciate being here. Thank you for having me on.
So I want to start by talking a little bit about you and your journey, because you know what I think we've discovered along the way is that when someone like yourself decides to say yes in an area of their lives and looks at something as passionately as you have, there's usually a story behind it. And so I wanted to ask you, you know, what was it in your own personal journey, you know, that had you point to looking at Lyme disease?
Well, you know, briefly, when I was very young, 3-4 years old, I remember waking up in oxygen tents in the hospital because I had such severe asthma and allergies. And really, those chronic conditions continued into my teens, into my 20s. And I was around 28 years old, and I went to my father and I said, you know, Dad, I'm 28 and I feel like I'm 88. I mean, I really feel sick. You know, I've had issues with asthma and allergies for a long, long time. And now, I mean, I've got arthritis. and the list goes on and on and on, psoriasis and so on. And so we really began looking at health from a more natural perspective, because it was clear to us that pharmaceuticals, were not the answer. And so after many, many years of research and beginning to take mix different botanicals and using nutrient metals such as silver and zinc and so on, I began to feel better. And these were little tinctures in bottles, little dropper bottles, and we began passing them out to friends and family who had, health issues of their own, and we began hearing really excellent feedback. And so I was around 31 years old at the time. And, I'd wanted to be a doctor, and I'd been in school, and I decided, maybe we should take this new technology to the world. Maybe we should share this with others. And maybe that's what we should do, is start a new company. And that was really the founding of Results RNA.
Yeah. Isn't it interesting how we end up at a place that probably our best laid out plans would not have gotten us here? But all it takes is something that gives us our individual awakening, so that we realize that we're here in the world to help so many people beyond hope. I was thrilled to meet you and to get to know you and the organization and the power of what you've created firsthand. And for someone like me and the countless millions of other people we're talking about now, the conversation used to be about, maybe we have 100 people, maybe we have 1,000 people. Now we're talking about millions of people worldwide that have been told time and time again, there is no solution. But this is not today's show. Today's show is about a solution. What excites you most about what you've discovered for a solution for Lyme disease? And then we're going to get into, how it works. But this has got to be like one of the most incredible innovations that I've seen in a long time for people.
Well, I appreciate it. It goes about 5 years ago, and I began receiving emails from people regarding a few of the Results RNA products, asking about their specific use towards Lyme disease. And so many of these people have begun using the Results RNA products to address Lyme, and were achieving significant success. And so going back a couple of years, maybe more, we actually began studying our advanced cellular silver against Borrelia burgdorferi. And found that our silver was very, very effective in killing this etiological agent of Lyme disease, Borrelia burgdorferi. And really, to our knowledge, this had never been done before. And so with more and more feedback and more research, based on news headlines, even in the last few years, we've all seen how rampant Lyme disease has become. It has become an absolute worldwide plague. This is not just something that affects the East Coast of the United States anymore.
Right.
Lyme disease is all over Europe. It's all over the United States. From what I hear, it's pushing into Asia and beyond. And so it's a very sophisticated disease issue that we feel we have a very profound solution for.
Yeah, I'm so glad you mentioned that, David, because one of the things I discovered along the way is that, the reason we're pointing and looking at, towards Asia right now is because one of the greatest, I think, secrets that has been kept for ages is the degree to which Lyme disease exists in China. And, so here we are with a worldwide phenomenon. And, maybe it's going to take an international entity to be the one to really raise the flag and say, hey, we've got to come together. But in the meantime, let's stop the suffering for people. And isn't that what you've done? And, what you're really here to talk about today? Because we can now provide solutions to people where we can really help them with the disease, with the symptoms, and with the suffering. And I'm telling you that alone is a phenomenon that most people don't believe is even possible today.
Right. We have a system called the Ultimate Lyme Support System that has been very, very successful in relieving many, many issues associated with Lyme disease. Lyme disease is a very sophisticated condition, really, to say the least. There are very many complex facets contributing to, chronic Lyme disease. And so to address Lyme comprehensively, solving the many, many issues requires addressing the many, many issues associated with Lyme. So a very simple example, you take your car into the mechanic and he tells you need new brakes, you need, your tires are bald and you need a new transmission. So obviously just putting on new tires is not going to solve all of the problems. And obviously, the human body is infinitely more sophisticated than an automobile. So the reality is a very sophisticated condition such as Lyme disease is never going to be solved by a single pill. There's no magic pill, and there's no single treatment that is going to comprehensively address the issues associated with Lyme and provide comprehensive healing. But that's what we do with the Ultimate Lyme Support System. So in addressing problems, of course, we have to first determine what the in other words, to find solutions, many, many solutions, we have to determine what all of the problems are. Yeah. And so we can ask, and I think it's a very fair question, what causes Lyme disease? Well, the etiological agents or the disease-causing microorganisms associated with Lyme, again, are the Borrelia bacteria, Babesia, Bartonella. There's also many, many viruses that are theorized to be associated with Lyme disease, and the list goes on and on and on. But really what we need to understand is that these disease-causing microorganisms are not the primary cause of Lyme disease. They are the secondary cause of Lyme. So you might ask, so what's the primary cause of Lyme disease? Well, take, for example, a schoolroom full of children. Mm-hmm. And a boy comes to school and he's got a cold and he's coughing and sneezing and putting his hands everywhere as kids do. And the next day, there's 2 or 3 kids that are not in school that day because they got sick from that cold, the cold that Johnny brought to class.
Right.
But there are many, many kids that are still in class that were also exposed to Johnny and they didn't get sick. So why? Why are they still healthy? And the answer is their immune system. They have a stronger immune system. So really the primary determination or determinant as to whether a person is healthy, remains healthy, or gets sick over time is your immune system.
Yeah, and I love this because, what you and I are talking about right now, for people listening to the show, it's going to make perfect sense to them, especially when we're looking at areas where so many people are really walking throughout life and all of a sudden, and this is the thing I'll tell you, this is the one thing, David, I hear most often. It's this idea, I'm walking around in my life and I'm in the best shape of my life and I'm doing all these great things. And, I just went into the hospital for this little surgery and boom, they come out and the next thing they know, 3 months, 6 months later, all of a sudden things start to break down. Well, why might that be? What does it have to do with the immune system? It has everything to do with the immune system and what we're going to talk about here today. Let's take a short break, everybody. When we come back, I'm going to give you lots of information. We're so thrilled to be working with David and the team that he has in the organization, resultsrna.com. And when you go to check out, just type in Dr. Pat, DRPAT, and you will get a special additional 10% discount. And by the way, when we come back, I want to mention to everyone, we're going to be following the course of let's just call it our own case study around how this is working for people. We've got lots to share with you, and this is a solution that so many of you have been waiting for. Let's take a short break, everyone. We'll be right back.
Join the Pacific Northwest EFT Tappers at the 6th Annual Tappers Gathering March 19th at Bastyr University in Seattle. You will learn EFT applications, forge a strong community, and share healing stories. The event raises money and awareness for EFT tapping scientific research. Net proceeds go to our 501c3 nonprofit to further prove the efficacy of EFT. Bring your cards and information for a fun and inspiring day of networking. Visit nwtappersgathering.com or call 360-661-6877.
Hey everybody, this is Dr. Pat. Many of you have heard me talk about the Lyme disease epidemic going on right now in the world. I want to tell you about my friends at Results RNA. They have now created an entire Lyme support system for immune system support, detoxification, rejuvenation, and neurological healing. Please visit resultsrna.com to learn more, and for first-time orders, you'll receive a special 10% discount. All you have to do is type in Dr. Pat at checkout. Hey everybody, welcome back. I'm Dr. Pat, and as I said before, this is a, Lyme Talk Radio, but it's also the Dr. Pat Show, Transformation Talk Radio, and many of you are listening to this on your phones, through Spreaker, through iHeart. I don't even know the many ways you're doing it, but I will tell you this, it's a very important dialogue. Super excited today, super excited to just be bringing all of this to you, to tell you that in the world that you may be living in, you will know people that are suffering, and you'll know that most people don't even know, what they have, and what they have, they don't really know how to get help for it. And there are a lot of reasons which David and I are going to talk about. But most importantly today, we want to share with you that this is a natural solution for addressing Lyme disease. David Larson joining me here today. I want everybody to write this down if you have a minute. If you do this is going to be something you're going to hear a lot about from us. Please write down the website. This is one of the things that we love to do, is put in your hands solution. But our partner with David and resultsrna.com is so that we can give you a solution at an amazing 10% discount. So go to resultsrna.com, and when you go to checkout, just type in Dr. Pat, DRPAT, and then David and I are going to tell you a little bit more about this and how it works. And then in a little bit, I'm going to let you know of something extraordinary that we're doing with David and his team. David, let's talk about where this starts. I know for me, that sometimes we don't even realize the toxins we're building in our own bodies. We just don't know. We think we're going along life. Even people that are living in the country, they think, I'm breathing. I'm in the Pacific Northwest now, right? I mean, the air is so clean here. Everything is beautiful here. But we don't really understand from an ecological point of view now what actually our bodies are absorbing. So what's the first place we start with this? And tell us about Results RNA.
Okay, absolutely. So you're definitely on the right track. Unfortunately, when it comes to toxins, for the most part, we're not aware that we're absorbing them into our bodies at all. And this is why toxins are referred to as invisible killers. The unfortunate truth is that every single year in the US alone, companies release a staggering 4 billion pounds of toxins into our environment. These toxins contaminate our air, our food, our water, our soil, our plants, animals, and of course ourselves. And some of these toxins are, toxic heavy metals such as mercury, lead, cadmium, arsenic, pesticides, insecticides, dioxins, furans, phthalates, volatile organic compounds. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. And what happens is these foreign substances build in our body. This is called bioaccumulation, simply because there are so many toxins today that our natural filtration systems cannot really dispense with all of the toxins. And so they begin to build in the body. And it's toxicity that causes immunodeficiency. And immunodeficiency, inflammation, etc., this is what causes diseases such as diabetes, cancer, and even Lyme disease.
Yeah. And we are learning so much about this now. I mean, I was having a conversation with someone the other day, and we were talking about the fact that some of our food now is being grown on soil, which most people wouldn't even walk in, let alone put in our bodies. And so we don't know we don't know what we don't know until something like this happens, right? And
Right.
you and I are very passionate about getting people a solution for Lyme disease. You know, when you're thinking about this and you're thinking about what you've created here, right? What is it that comes to the forefront for you? What are you most concerned about? You know, I know some nights I just cry thinking about the people suffering. What is it for you that you believe we can actually come out and make some great change with here?
Well, you know, again, the reality is, and although it's a sophisticated problem, I think
Hmm.
what we provide with results RNA are some
Yeah.
fairly simple solutions. And that is, if the problem, by definition of immunodeficiency causing inflammation and chronic disease, is toxicity, if that's the problem, then really intracellular detoxification is the answer. And so the ability to address total body burden of toxins and pathogens and free radicals, because this to me is comprehensively
Yeah.
what leads to disease. Okay, if we can remediate toxicity intracellularly, if we can
Right.
remove toxins from our cells, if we can kill the pathogenic microorganisms associated with various diseases, and we can also remediate or neutralize many, many free radicals that exist in the body that cause cellular harm all day, every day. If we can address these core issues, then the reality is, and the beautiful thing, the body heals itself.
I love what you're talking about because, you know, we're not talking about people that have a sniffle or, you know, my gosh, I had a little rash behind my ear. I mean, although that might be part of it, we're talking about Lyme disease, which can affect the organs in the body, which can affect our brain. Right now, you know, we're talking to people that have brain fog, so to speak, and they're looking at this and saying, my gosh, you know, how can I get this? How can I start to use this? And I really wanted to get to that really quickly here because I know we have a lot to talk about. You know, what you have put together, Results RNA, what you have put together on this is it's a beautiful, easy to use solution for this. And I don't know if you hear that from people, but I will tell you that so many people have gone through complicated, sophisticated, very expensive so-called remedies with no help really. And not to mention antibiotics. So probably you get asked this all the time. But David, what about antibiotics?
Right, absolutely. Well, antibiotics, you know, kill very specific microorganisms.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know of any specific antibiotics that have been actually tested on Borrelia burgdorferi, for
Right.
example. But again, the antibiotic answer is not a total solution because the people that are susceptible to the microorganisms associated with Lyme are very, very toxic. And so the ultimate Lyme support system is comprised of intraoral sprays taken by mouth, very simple to take. You spray, swish, and swallow. And each one of the sprays in the system address various issues associated with Lyme. And so our first product called ACZ Nano, very effective detoxification agent. Again, spray in the mouth has been proven in many, many case studies to remove toxic heavy metals from the body, simply via the urine. It removes vast amounts of toxic heavy metals, chemical toxins from the body. And the second product, ACS 200, or Advanced Cellular Silver, has been proven to kill Borrelia burgdorferi and over 660 additional disease-causing microorganisms. There's not another silver-based product on the planet that can make those claims. We have in our Silver technology, the only EPA registered product for anthrax kill. So our silver technology is really second to none in its ability to kill microorganisms. And one of the very unique features of ACS 200 is, yes, it kills disease-causing microorganisms, but it does not harm healthy flora or harm the immune system. So with those two products, we've addressed toxicity as well as the pathogenic microorganisms. The third product in Ultimate Lyme Support System is our advanced cellular glutathione. Glutathione is one of the most needed components of the entire body. It is the leading antioxidant, and we restore glutathione levels with a simple intraoral spray, neutralizing vast amounts of free radicals and really helping to enhance healing. And the fourth product in the Ultimate Lyme Support System is our advanced cellular neuro. We call ACN Neuro. Very, very effective neurological health support formula. So again, comprehensively, we put together a system that addresses the multiple facets associated with Lyme disease. And when people begin taking these products, within literally a few weeks, they begin feeling results.
I love this because not only are you really talking about how this all works. I mean, I'm so excited about what we're doing with you all because, I mean, I've been at this a long time, David. I don't know how much you know about my own personal healing journey here, but I've been at this a long time. And I never thought in my own lifetime, my own world, that I would see something that would be able to provide people with relief, but also more importantly, it would be something that people can easily get their hands on, begin to work on, right? And to do it in a way which allows the body to help itself. We're going to take a short break, everyone. When we come back, I want to just say this. I want to make sure everybody goes to the website. So I want to make sure that you know there's so much great information on the website, so much, David, that you all and the team have provided. And I hope everyone out there stops in and takes a look. Go to resultsrna.com. So that's resultsrna.com. But when you get there, when you look at the products, make sure that before you check out, that what you type in the checkout section is Dr. Pat. Just type that in, D-R-P-A-T. That would be me, because this is our partnership. This is the work that we're doing with David and his team, and they are also contributors to what we're doing moving forward to help all of you take positive action against Lyme disease. But here's what I want you to know. This will give you a special 10% discount. In addition to how amazingly priced the product is, it is by far the best things you could possibly get in your hand. And when we come back, we're going to tell you more about why. Not just how it works, but why this is a solution in so many ways. David's going to share some stories with us. You know, what are people saying? And the reason we know that this is important is because when people feel better, they talk about it. Let's take a short break, everyone. We'll be right back.
Song of the Heart, Walking the Path of Light, from author and healer Francine Vale, is available now. Through Francine's life story, we learn how imperative it is to love one another. Once this simple truth is learned, peace on earth will prevail. Song of the Heart is a life lived and a story told for this purpose. To learn more about Francine and her amazing gifts, or to order your copy of the book today, visit angelsandlightbeings.com.
Hey everybody, this is Dr. Pat. Many of you have heard me talk about the Lyme disease epidemic going on right now in the world. I want to tell you about my friends at Results RNA. They have now created an entire Lyme support system for immune system support, detoxification, rejuvenation, and neurological healing. Please visit resultsrna.com to learn more, and for first-time orders, you'll receive a special 10% discount. All you have to do is type in Dr. Pat at checkout. Hey everybody. Welcome back. This is so great to be talking to David here. David Larson from Results RNA. And as I said before, please go to resultsrna.com. And when you get there, you're going to find lots of information. And what you're also going to find is ultimate Lyme support. And you're going to be able to look at what's in there, exactly what David and I are talking about. Also, there are articles that they have. There are other things where you can hear about how other people are literally seeing results. And, for many of you, you have heard me talk about this before. And it's so amazing that we get to have David on the show, because now through Results RNA, we're able to say to you, these are the things that David and his team have found that work, that people are saying work, and now we can deliver it and get it in your hands. That is the most exciting thing. The other thing is, we have a couple of case study things we're going to be doing here. So you're going to hear back from me personally and one other individual, and we're going to take this journey together with David. David, let's talk about this. This is exciting for many of us here and our listeners today. But I can only imagine what this is like for you, to know that here you are, you have created something that is helping people and saving lives. I mean, that's really the end game here for Lyme disease, because while many people are doing the testing and raising the money for the testing, we've got to address the larger population of people that are suffering. And I would love for you to talk about, in what you've discovered, how these components now are working together, and what are people shared with you? Sure.
Well, first off, it's very, very gratifying. We went into this business, in the beginning to help ourselves and our own families, with health issues that were not being addressed, in modern medicine. And we're very pleased now to be able to offer such significant technologies, which are based on decades and decades of research, to people throughout the world. The Results RNA products are distributed through doctors in the United States, all over Europe, Australia, into Asia. And so after decades of history, we're very, very proud of what we've done. And it is absolutely gratifying to know that so many people are being helped by these products and their lives are being changed. And especially with an issue as significant and devastating as Lyme disease. We get emails and through social media every single day, hundreds. It's quite daunting, actually, with questions about our products. We see the comments being made by so many people out there who are experiencing the Ultimate Lyme Support System, sharing their results with others, and we're so grateful to them for being willing to share their stories with other people. One thing I've found about the Lyme disease community is that they're very open to sharing and helping each other within the community to achieve results. And so when people get onto a solution, as they have with the Ultimate Lyme Support System, and are achieving excellent results, they share it with others. And really, that's been the basis of growth for Results RNA and the Ultimate Lyme Support System. Yeah, and one of the things too is I love this, because when I was sitting here looking at what you guys have developed and how you developed it, you have spent an enormous amount of time really looking at the efficacy of this, looking at how exactly to make this work, and putting together something and saying, well, wait a minute, there are these natural things available that can literally cure the body, help the body, so that we can build an immune system. What do you see has been, the greatest aha for you in discovering these, and discovering, of course, how to put all this together? Because what you have here is you have an ultimate Lyme support. So you have picked this, and this, putting them together, and together they make that perfect mixture. Well, we do believe that within nature, for every single problem that exists, there is also a provided solution. And so our first technological breakthrough really came with our silver-based technology and the ability to kill a broad spectrum of microorganisms of every type and kind, from virus, fungi, bacteria, and so on, with a natural element. Silver is a natural element, and yet when created in a very specific form, is deadly to microorganisms and yet safe to mammalian cells. And this research goes back a long, long time before us. We base our research on research of the decades. Silver has been used historically for centuries and centuries. Hippocrates, the father of modern medicine, going back, thousands of years, actually prescribed silver. So we have a new form of silver, patented and some proprietary, that provides really significant antimicrobial effect. That was a huge aha moment for us. Again, an antimicrobial that is safe to the human body. Really, our next aha moment came when we realized that, again, it's not just about killing the microorganisms associated with disease, that there's a reason people become immunodeficient, and that it's toxins in the environment that are causing immunodeficiency today. And so integral with killing the microorganisms associated with diseases such as Lyme disease, we really need to detoxify our cells of all of these toxic agents. And our zeolite-based product, and I could spend the next 2 hours talking about zeolite. It's a very fascinating, natural.
We're going to do a whole show on it, though. We're going to come back and do a whole show on that because it's big conversation.
Absolutely. It's a very, very unique substance created from volcanic ash that goes into the body and removes toxins and pulls them out very, very naturally. Now, our glutathione product, again, the glutathione is one of the most valuable components of the entire body. And our glutathione is an intraoral spray, botanically based, all natural. So all of our products, just so you know, are all natural. There are no drugs or chemicals or preservatives in any of the Results RNA products. And
I have to tell you, let me just say this. I'm doing this show with you, and I had let folks know we were doing the show. And so I rarely have my phone going on. And so what's going on with the phone right now is I'm getting questions and comments in, and everybody wants me to just slow down and say resultsrna.com. resultsrna.com. And yeah, absolutely. When you go there and you get ready to check out, please go ahead and type in Dr. Pat, Dr. Pat, and you will get a special discount, because we've got a very, very long partnership going on here because this works. The thing that I love about this, David, we have just begun to socialize our partnership with you and our relationship with you. And it comes from this place of being off the radar, meaning no recognition for Lyme disease. You know that, right? No recognition, misdiagnosis. Many people out there, especially in the rheumatoid arthritis, arena, many folks out there wanting to dispute this. But let's not dispute this. The study that's on your website, right? Folks can go there and look at the study. You have a fascinating study on the website about the ACS 200 extra strength that we're talking about. And you have a diagram on there. And I looked at this diagram, and I want to make sure I'm understanding what I'm seeing here, David. Okay. And this is what's kind of important. This is a results study. And this is exciting research because up until very, very recently and up until now, this kind of results is not what anybody thought would be possible, is it?
No. And there are very few products that can really pull off what ACS 200 does against Borrelia burgdorferi.
Yep.
To be clear, we commissioned the study, but we commissioned it with an independent university, Brigham Young University.
Yep.
And so one of the top microbiologists in the world, Dr. Richard Robison, we asked if he could test, do a kill time study against Borrelia burgdorferi, which is a very sophisticated agent.
Yep.
It's difficult to get a hold of. And the protocols to test Borrelia were far different than any other protocols he'd ever utilized. And so he literally went to Dr. Willie Bergdorfer's assistant in Montana. Dr. William Bergdorfer, of course, was the scientist who discovered Borrelia burgdorferi and made the association between this specific microorganism and Lyme disease. And so the world is, of course, indebted to Dr. Willie Bergdorfer. He is, of course, or he has since passed on. And so Dr. Robison, the microbiologist, got in touch with Dr. Willie Bergdorfer's assistant and got all of his protocols for testing an antimicrobial agent against Borrelia burgdorferi. And again, all of this is very sophisticated. And after over a year's study, putting all the pieces together, Brigham Young University, or Dr. Richard Robison, was able to determine that ACS 200, the results RNA silver, achieved complete kill against Borrelia burgdorferi, millions and millions of organisms. And again, this is a laboratory study, so this is in a petri dish.
Yep.
In just minutes of time.
Yep. Yeah. When I looked at it, and that's why I wanted to bring it up, because what happens sometimes is when we talk about this, you and I are so close to this that we forget about the wow factor. And I think when folks go to the website resultsrna.com and you take a look at this study, you will see the chart and the diagram that's in here. And I had to have a sanity check on that with you, David, as I was looking at it, a researcher myself. I was like, okay, now in the world we live in, we are living with something that, as many people say, sometimes makes us feel worse before we feel better. But you've also been able to address that and be able to address how sometimes when we detox the body so quickly or so well, how we can minimize the effect of that. Tell us a little bit about that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And so I think one of the most relevant questions we can ask is, how does toxicity create or cause immunodeficiency? And the example I like to give has to do with a single microorganism and a single toxin called the Candida mercury cycle. So as a person becomes toxic with mercury, mercury is such a toxic substance, such a toxic heavy metal, one of the most noxious heavy metals naturally occurring on the planet, that when immune cells inside the body come into contact with mercury, they actually die. Mercury is that toxic. And so that's the simple equation as to how toxins cause immunodeficiency, because they simply kill immune cells. Whereas pathogenic microorganisms such as Candida have really learned to live and thrive in the presence of mercury. So much so that laboratory studies have shown that Candida has learned to bind its own weight of mercury within its cell wall. So why would Candida bind its own weight of mercury within its cell wall? It's learned that if it binds mercury, that it defends itself from immune cells. The immune cells cannot attack the Candida or their colony as long as they bound mercury within biofilms. Many people in the Lyme disease community understand what biofilms are.
Yep.
And what I'm trying to iterate here is why biofilms exist. These microorganisms bind toxic chemicals, toxic heavy metals within biofilms, literally to create a shield between themselves, their colony, and the immune cells of the body that are trying to eradicate them. And so in order to remediate this sophisticated cycle, if we kill off the Candida, just the Candida, with an antibiotic, an antifungal, or even just another, a silver product such as ACS 200. If that's what we do, we might be very effective at killing the candida, but we release the mercury, right? We release the toxins, and then the cycle starts all over again. So again, the big aha moment for us at Results RNA was realizing that comprehensively, as far as addressing many, many issues, health issues, whether it be Lyme or other immunodeficiency issues, we must simultaneously eradicate the microorganisms while binding the toxic elements and removing them from the body at the same time.
Yeah, and this is really for so many people to be able to have a solution, to be able to really, be listening to the show today, David, and know that there is something that we like to call hope in action. And that means that, having hope is what gets us to that next place of taking action. But this is actually a solution. And I just want to make sure that you all have the website, resultsrna.com. But also there's a toll-free number, 888-823-3869. I want to make sure you have that, 888-823-3869. And the article that I'm talking about, you can go check right on the website, and it'll tell you more about how you can find out about this and about the research. And if you're not familiar with what David and I are talking about here today, we're going to do a number of other shows to really break this down so that you can understand how something would work. It's so important. It was important for me, David, along the way to understand that. But for many of us that go back in, over a decade ago and beginning a journey such as this, there wasn't a lot of information. If we were lucky, we stumbled upon people that were creating opportunities that gave some relief. Today, though, we are now being able to separate the things that work from what we thought worked. And that's why I wanted you to talk about the study, because it's important to now be able to say, wait a minute, look, this is the thing that's in your body. This is the solution that's going to help. And, for many people, that didn't exist. This is an enormous, for me, conversation with you, because I know that you're busy building what you're building, doing what you're doing, creating what you're creating. And there's an entire world of people that should know about what you're doing, because these are the folks that don't even know, David, that something like this exists. They don't know it exists. They don't know it's going to work. But isn't that why you and I are here?
Well, exactly. And, we theorized and tested again and tested some more. And again, the technology behind the Results RNA products is based on over 30 years of comprehensive research. My partners have been at this for a lot longer than I have. And as you can see, I've got a significant amount of gray hair. I've been around a little while.
I have color. I put color in my hair.
And so we are thrilled to be able to put the pen to paper, as it were, and have people using our products and achieving significant results. And I'm happy to spend as much time as you like going over the technology and how the products work. Yep. But really, that's the process. Yep. And not everyone really wants to or necessarily needs to understand the process. I think what most people want to know is, if I take these products, how will they benefit me? What are the immediate benefits? And I would say, from many, many people that are taking the Results RNA Ultimate Lyme Support System, the most significant benefits that occur almost immediately is the reduction of brain fog. Because as we've been discussing, these toxins, these free radicals that are floating through the bloodstream, constantly bombarding the cells, and specifically cells of the neurological system, cells of the brain. If we can remove those toxins so that the brain and the neurological system are no longer under this constant toxic bombardment, people can think again. They get their memories back. They get their energy back. They start feeling alive. It's so thrilling to me to read about people who tell me, I could barely get out of bed. And now I get in the car, I go grocery shopping, I pick up my kids, I have my life back. And this is why we do what we do.
Well, you touched upon something. I'm glad you brought up the idea of brain fog, because what does that mean? Well, clearly, and this is really, I think, going to be the greatest aha out in the world today. I was speaking with a woman who, one of the leaders in the Alzheimer arena, and it was interesting after talking with her about what she discovered in that arena. And I said to her, had you heard about brain fog? And we were talking a little bit about the difference between what she discovered along the way to helping her husband and what she's now finding out in the world. And this idea of brain fog and memory loss has been so diagnosed in so many arenas without the diagnosis of Lyme disease, or as a matter of fact, not even looking. So I'm not saying that it isn't Alzheimer's. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that had a test been done, let's say, an IGeneX Lyme test, or a test that's quite comprehensive by the people that know how to read it, perhaps we would be here saying, wait a minute, let's have you take results RNA and try it and find out for yourself if things get better. Because you said something important, and I hope that I heard you right. You are talking about people showing results not in months or years, but in weeks. That's really the part that I think is exciting for me, because you and I both know, David, we know that the world that we're in right now, any results in the Lyme community is not that of weeks. It's of months. It's of years. It's of tens of thousands of dollars. I'm sure you've heard that.
Sure. I have, absolutely. And, it's heartbreaking. The reality is, to a specific problem, you either have a specific solution, a solution that's going to work, or you do not. And when it comes to Lyme disease, there have been so many purported solutions to a problem that were destined to fail, that were never going to work. And so many people have invested a lot of time and a lot of money into these solutions where we think we understand the problem. We've done a lot of research in the area of Lyme disease, and sophisticated problems require very sophisticated solutions. But again, our sophisticated solutions come in the form of simple to take intraoral sprays. Spray in the mouth 12 sprays a day of each product. Swish and swallow. You can do it twice a day. Yep. And to your point, many of these people that are taking the products begin feeling results within the first few weeks or couple of months of taking the products. And yep. To your point, it's significant.
It is significant. Well, David, I know you and I are going to spend many times together and talk about things we haven't even touched upon. Many people know about the neurological issues with Lyme disease, and I hope in our next interview, not only will we talk about that, but we'll talk about the many, many ways the body will adjust and adapt. One last question for you. What's your personal message? What would you like to leave us with today? And thank you so much for all you do.
Oh, you're very welcome. I appreciate you having me on. My personal message would be there is hope. I've been there. I've been very, very sick. I was sick for a long, long time, and had the opportunity to pursue solutions to my problems, my personal health problems that I dealt with. And I'm healthy today. And we're in the business of passing that along.
Yes, I love it. And David and I are going to be doing several other shows for those of you out there. But in the meantime, go to resultsrna.com. And when you go to check out, just type in Dr. Pat, DRPAT, and you will get a special additional 10% discount. I want to make sure that all of you know that this is something very, very special that we're doing with David and his team at Results RNA. We're very excited about it. And in the weeks to come, you'll be following us with some live case studies on changes, wellness, healings that are happening as a result of this. Thank you, David. Thank you so much. I want to thank all of you for tuning us in and turning us on. And if you've missed any part of this, we'll make sure you get to hear it again later on today. Thank you all. Thank you, David. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
All right, everyone. We'll see you next time.